The wedding planner found her sitting alone in the bridal suite 3 days before the ceremony, sewing rips into a $200 dress with a kitchen knife. Her name was Ivy Calloway, and in 6 weeks, she was set to marry into one of the wealthiest families in the city. The wedding would cost $12 million, 400 guests, a ballroom built entirely of glass. Her fiancé, Holt Vanthorpe, had proposed on a rooftop with fireworks spelling her name across the sky. Every magazine in the country wanted the story. Every woman she knew called her the luckiest bride alive. But luck has a way of feeling wrong when you know something is hiding underneath it. For weeks, Ivy had noticed small things. The way Holt spoke to waiters like they were furniture. The way he once stepped over a man sleeping outside his office building without even slowing his stride. The way his charm switched on and off like a light, depending on who was watching. She told herself she was imagining it. She told herself love makes you paranoid. Then one night she decided she needed to know the truth before she said forever in front of 400 people and $12 million worth of flowers. So she did something no one expected. She disappeared. For 2 days, Ivy vanished from her own engagement. Publicists panicked. Her mother called every hospital in the city, but Ivy wasn't missing. She was in a small apartment across town, sitting in front of a makeup artist she swore to secrecy, watching her face disappear piece by piece under layers of gray powder, fake scars, and a wig made of tangled gray hair. She traded her cashmere coat for a jacket with a broken zipper. She traded her diamond bracelet for dirt, rubbed carefully into the lines of her hands. When she looked in the mirror, the billionaire bride was gone. In her place stood a tired, forgotten woman the world would walk past without a second glance. She placed a tiny camera inside a button on her coat. Then she walked toward the one place she needed answers: his neighborhood. The evening sky was turning orange when Ivy shuffled down the sidewalk near Holt's building. Her shoulders hunched, her steps slow and uncertain, the way the world expects poor people to walk, small and apologetic, like they're sorry for existing. She spotted him before he spotted her. Holt stood outside a coffee shop, laughing with 2 business partners, his tailored suit catching the last light of day, his smile the same one that had once melted her heart on a rooftop full of fireworks. Ivy took a breath and stepped toward him.
Please help me.
"Please," she said, her voice trembling, cracked with practiced exhaustion. Sir, I haven't eaten today. Could you spare anything, even a few dollars?" The laughter stopped. Holt turned, his eyes sweeping over her like she was a stain on his afternoon. "Get away from me," he said, his voice sharp enough to cut glass. Ivy staggered back, more from the tone than the words. "Please, sir, I just need—" "I said get away." His hand shoved the air between them, though he never touched her. "Do you know how disgusting you look? Go find a shelter. Go find somewhere that isn't my sidewalk." One of his business partners chuckled awkwardly, unsure whether to laugh or intervene. Holt wasn't finished. "People like you are the reason this city is falling apart," he snapped, loud enough for passers-by to hear. "You had every chance to make something of your life and you chose this. Don't stand here begging me to fix your mistakes." Ivy felt her chest tighten, tears rising for real now, no acting required. "I just wanted help," she whispered. "Then go get a job," he said, turning his back on her completely, already laughing again with his friends, as if she had already stopped existing. She stood there a moment longer, invisible in the middle of a busy street, watching the man she was about to marry disappear into a building with revolving glass doors, the same doors that would never open for someone who looked like her. The camera inside her button had caught everything. Every word, every sneer, every second of a man the world called generous, kind, a philanthropist, a self-made success story, revealing a version of himself no camera crew or charity gala had ever seen. Ivy walked 7 blocks before she let herself cry. That night, she sat in her penthouse, still in her rags, mascara running down cheeks caked in fake grime, staring at herself in the mirror like a stranger. She kept waiting to feel angry. Instead, she felt something worse: grief. Grief for the version of Holt she had built in her mind. Grief for the wedding she had planned down to the last white rose. Grief for a future she had already imagined in detail: birthdays, anniversaries, growing old together, all of it now sitting in ruins, on a sidewalk she couldn't unsee. But grief, she realized, wasn't the end of the story. It was the beginning of her plan. 2 nights later, she wore her softest dress and sat across from Holt at their favorite restaurant, candlelight flickering between them like nothing in the world was wrong. "Can I ask you something?" she said, keeping her voice light. "Anything for you," he smiled, reaching for her hand. "What do you think about the homeless people downtown? There's been talk about the city building more shelters." Holt's smile flickered, just slightly, like a crack forming behind glass. "Honestly," he said, swirling his wine, "I think people focus too much on charity cases. The city should invest in people who actually contribute. Homeless people aren't going to build skyscrapers or grow the economy. Why should our tax dollars babysit people who never tried hard enough?" Ivy kept her face calm, though something inside her chest went cold. "So you don't think everyone deserves help?" Holt laughed, waving his hand like she'd asked something silly. "Help should go where it creates value," he said. "I don't believe in wasting resources on people who offer nothing back. Some people are simply beneath investing in." There it was. Not an accident, not a bad day, not a moment of stress caught on a busy sidewalk. This was who he was. Ivy smiled and changed the subject, but inside, the wedding she had spent a year designing had already begun collapsing in her mind, brick by brick. The next few weeks passed in strange, quiet normalcy. Fittings continued. Guest lists were finalized. $12 million kept flowing into flowers, orchestras, ice sculptures shaped like swans, and a cake so large it required its own security detail. Ivy let it all continue. Every last detail, every last dollar. Because she wasn't planning a wedding anymore. She was planning an ending. The day of the ceremony arrived wrapped in golden light, the kind reserved for fairy tales. 400 guests filled a ballroom, built entirely of glass, chandeliers glittering above like frozen stars. Celebrities whispered behind champagne glasses. Reporters lined the entrance, hungry for the story of the decade. Holt stood at the altar in a tailored white suit, glowing with the confidence of a man who believed the world existed to serve him. The music began. The doors opened. Gasps rippled through the crowd, not from admiration, but confusion. Ivy walked down the aisle not in the $60,000 gown displayed in 3 fashion magazines, but in the same gray, tattered coat and broken shoes she had worn on that sidewalk weeks earlier. Dirt still smudged beneath her eyes. Her hair hung in the same tangled gray wig. Whispers spread like wildfire. Holt's smile cracked into confusion, then panic, as she stopped in front of him instead of beside him. "Ivy, what is this?" he whispered through gritted teeth. She turned to face the crowd instead of him. "3 weeks ago," she said, her voice steady despite the tremble beneath it, "I dressed as a homeless woman and approached my fiancé on the street outside his office. I wanted to see who he really was when the cameras weren't watching, when there was nothing to gain." The ballroom fell silent. She nodded toward the massive screens behind the altar, screens meant to display their wedding photos throughout the ceremony. Instead, the hidden footage began to play. Holt's voice thundered through the speakers. "Get away from me. Do you know how disgusting you look? People like you are the reason this city is falling apart." 400 jaws dropped. Phones rose into the air, capturing every second. Somewhere near the back, a reporter's camera flashed rapidly, already filing breaking news. Holt's face turned the color of ash. "Ivy, that was different. I was stressed. You called a woman disgusting for asking for help," she said, her voice rising, steady and clear. "Then 2 nights later, you told me over dinner that some people are beneath investing in. That wasn't stress, Holt. That was you." Gasps turned into murmurs, murmurs into shocked silence. Ivy pulled the microphone closer. "I am canceling this wedding." The words landed like thunder across the glass ballroom. "And every dollar spent on tonight, every non-refundable deposit for flowers, catering, and decor will be redirected to local shelters across this city, starting tomorrow morning." Applause broke out from unexpected corners of the room, quiet at first, then rising. Guests who had spent years hiding their own discomfort with Holt's cruelty finally exhaling in relief. Ivy turned, walked back up the aisle in her tattered coat, past 400 stunned faces, past cameras capturing what would become the most viral wedding video of the year, and out through the same glass doors that had once seemed too grand for someone like her to walk through alone. By morning, the video had spread across every platform in the country. Headlines called it the $12 million wake-up call. Strangers thanked her for showing them the difference between charm and character. Shelters across the city posted photos of donated flowers, untouched wedding cakes, and truckloads of food arriving from a ceremony that never happened. Ivy didn't marry a billionaire that year. She became something the tabloids hadn't expected. A woman who understood that money could disappear overnight, but character reveals itself in the moments no one is watching. And in a world where appearances are bought and sold every day, she had learned the one truth that could never be faked. How someone treats a person who can offer them nothing is the only price tag that ever really mattered. Subscribe, like, comment, share, and see you in our next video.